Hello and welcome to this intervention. In this intervention, we're going to look at using bar model to represent and help us solve simple subtraction problems. To complete this intervention, you need a whiteboard pen and a bead string. Please make sure you have all of those things. If you don't, just pause the video and go and get them and then press play when you get back. Let's now look at using a bead string to help us and bar model to solve a subtraction problem. Our first problem says, a toy factory makes 85 yo-yos in 2 days. It makes 30 yo-yos on the first day. How many yo-yos does it make on the second day? Now, the first thing to consider with this problem is that we've been given a really vital piece of information at the top. We've been told about 2 days. It then asks us for the first day and the second day. So we know that those 2 days are made up of our first day and our second day. So the first thing we can do is use our bead string to represent how many yo-yos were made in those 2 days. Now, the way a bead string works, because they're really cool pieces of kit, is this represents 10 because we have 10 beads. And can you see when it goes to the next 10, it's a different colour to help us count. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So we get to 80 here. So we've got our 8 lots of 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with your bead string, you should have 85 beads. Now that represents how many yo-yos were made in 2 days. Let's look at the rest of our problem. It says the factory makes 30 yo-yos on the first day. Now I don't add any more onto my bead string because my bead string shows that they were made in the 2 days. So what I actually need to do is make sure that I make my 30 from my bead string that I've already got, because this at the moment represents both days. It represents 2 days, and I need to now just find my first day. So I've got 5, 15, because 5 and 10 makes 15, 25, 35. So that would be too much. So I need 5, 15, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And this part here, this 30 here, represents how many were made on the first day. If we put it together, this was how many was made on 2 days. But this many, 30, were made on the first day. So hopefully you've spotted that the rest here must be how many were made on the second day. First day, second day, or if we put them together, the 2 days. Let's have a go at drawing that on a bar. So we know that we have got 85 yo-yos are made in 2 days. We know that that is made up of 2 days. And I can draw my 2 separate parts for my 2 separate days. Now I've got some of the information in the problem. I know that 85 is made across 2 days, but I also know that in the first day, if I call this the first day, I know that there were 30 made. Here, I know that this represents the second day. Now, can anybody spot how to work out how many were made on that second day? Because that's what the question's asking us. How many yo-yos does the factory make on the second day? Well, think back to my bead string. I had all 85 yo-yos sorry, to represent 2 days. Out of my 2 days, I knew that 30 were made on the first day, so I moved 30 away. And that left me with how many were made on the second day. And I can show my 30 being moved away on my bar model by drawing an arrow to show it moving away. And if I take that 30 away, I am left with the amount of my second day. Again, let's look back at the bead string as to why. If I had my 2 days, my 85 together, and I move 30 away, because they are the amount I know for my first day, if I move those away, here is the amount that is left behind, and that is represented as here in the bar. So the calculation I need to do to work out how many were made on the second day is I need to start with my 85 yo-yos, and I need to subtract, I need to take away, like I did here when I moved them away, I need to take away my 30 yo-yos. And that leaves me with 5 take away 0 is 5, and 8 take away 3 is also 5. And if I count here, I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that 55 yo-yos were made on the second day, because I know that I had 85 altogether, and if I removed from that 85 the 30 I knew were made on the first day, then the amount left behind must be the second day. And again, on my bar model, I removed the 30 from the first day, and it left me behind the second day. Now we're going to look at our second problem. What I'd like you to do this time is I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at using your bead string to represent the problem. So working out how many you have to begin with, and how many are being removed, and how many are left behind. Now, my problem says, Tom and Laura collected 54 Pokemon cards all together. Tom collected 23 and Laura collected the rest. How many did Laura collect? So we know that all together, Tom and Laura collected 54 Pokemon cards. So we know that is our total of Pokemon cards. We haven't got any more Pokemon cards than that at any point in our problem. 54 is the most cards that we had. So we make 54 on our bead string. So we need to make sure that we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 4. Now move the rest of the beads away. So this part of my bead string represents 54 Pokemon cards, and that is how many Tom and Laura collected all together. Now the second part of my problem says that Tom collected 23 and Laura collected the rest. So I now can have a look at how many were collected by Tom. So I know I need to move 23. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can either count them out one at a time, or you could have noticed that was 4. So if you moved that, it became 10, 24. If you just put one back, you've got 23. But hopefully you had 23 beads to represent Tom's 23. So there's still 54 here all together, but now I've got 23 here for Tom. Now that must mean that this here is Laura, because it says that Laura collected the rest. I know again that I have 54 all together, but this part of my bead string is 23, and that is Tom. So that must mean that this part of my bead string is Laura. What I would like you to do now is to pause the video and have a go at drawing the bar, which represents this problem. What would the bar look like? So hopefully you had a go at drawing the bar. Let's look at the bar together. Now the first thing we did with our bead string was made sure that we had 54 Pokemon cards all together. So we know that that is our starting amount, that we have 54 Pokemon cards all together. We also know that our Pokemon cards are made up of Tom and Laura, because they are the two people that have collected the Pokemon cards. Now we know that Tom's amount is 23, and we need to know how many are Laura's. So what we do, and remember we did this with our bead string, we had 54 altogether, and we separated, we moved Tom's amount away. We took away Tom's 23. Now once we had taken away Tom's 23, we were left with Laura's amount. So the calculation we needed to do was 54 Pokemon cards, take away Tom's 23 Pokemon cards, and that leaves us with Laura. And if you look at the bar, if you have both of them together and you take away Tom's, you're left with just Laura. So 4 take away 3 is 1, and 5 take away 2 is 3. So we know that Laura has 31 Pokemon cards. And if we now look at our bead string, look, we have 10, 20, 31. And we know that if we put 31 and 23 together, we get 54, because we had 54 all together. Tom had 23, and by removing Tom's 23, by moving it away, we were left with Laura's 31. Now it is over to you. I have written a word problem here, and I would like you to pause the screen when I've finished explaining so that you have the word problem in front of you. But what you are going to do is you are going to put your own numbers into the word problem and then solve your own word problem. So it says, a firefighter puts out, and then it leaves a space, fires over the weekend. He puts out, and it leaves a space again, fires on Saturday and the rest on Sunday. How many fires did he put out on Sunday? Now you get to choose your own numbers now to put into this problem so you can solve it more than once. The thing you must make sure you do is that you put the greatest number up here, because that is the total number of fires put out over the weekend, and we know that the weekend is made up of Saturday and Sunday. So the number of fires on Saturday can't be bigger than the number of fires over the weekend. So then once you've chosen your numbers, they need to be less than 100. They don't need to be very big. They could be less than 50. Once you've chosen your numbers, you are going to make it on a bead string, have a go at drawing it, and then solve it. So for example, I might choose my numbers to be I might choose to have 30 fires over the weekend and 12 of them being on Saturday. I would then need to get myself 30 pieces of bead string to represent my 30 fires over the weekend. I would then know that I removed 12 fires, which represents the Saturday, and that must mean the amount left over is Sunday, because Saturday and Sunday go together to form the weekend. When I was to draw it, I would know that over the whole weekend we had 30 fires. That was made up of Saturday and Sunday, and that Saturday's fires, if I put Saturday and Sunday, and that Saturday's fires were 12. So I remove my 12 from my weekend, and that leaves me behind with Sunday. And if I count how many bead strings I've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I'd know that my Sunday number was 18. Once you've done it once, you would change your numbers. Again, I'd like you to use reasonably low numbers because the challenge here is to work out your bar. So again, choose your numbers, make your bead string, move away the amount for Saturday, see what's left on Sunday, and try and draw it into the bar. Once you've done 2 sets, once you've done different numbers, you can stop because your intervention is over. Well done.